Means these things are written in the books itself. Why don't you just read the book and go to the examination halls? Why you are coming to the classes? To know exactly what portion, in what sense, in what proportion should be studied. So in this lecture, we would be talking about medieval history. Medieval history, specifically, we would be covering the Rajput kingdom. That how, after the tripartite struggle between the Gujar Pratihars, Palas, and the Rashtrakutas, there was a sense of disintegration in the northern India. So, Cholas and Rajput took the advantage of this situation and they came to the prominence in northern India. So our main focus today would be on the Rajput kingdoms, that who were the Rajput kingdoms, where were they active, and how they came to the power, which king was important for us, and where was the features, what were the features that they were introduced in this period. So first of all, the Rajput kingdoms, write down introduction, age of conflict, that was a 900 or 1000 to 1200 AD. In this, please write down, this period is marked by disintegration of the tripartite powers. This period is marked by disintegration of tripartite powers. In the bracket you can write Rashtrakutas, Palas, and Pratiharas. Rashtrakutas, Palas, and Pratiharas, bracket close, into smaller kingdoms. We saw that how after this tripartite struggle, these kingdoms divided, got broken into smaller kingdoms. As a result, we had some 5 major lineages or lines of Rajputs. Palas. After the fall of Gujar Pratiharas, next point after this, after the fall of Gujar Pratiharas, multiple Rajput states emerged. After the fall of Gujar Pratiharas, multiple Rajput states emerged. First were Paramaras of Malwa. See, Paramaras of Malwa, this is the Malwa region. So Paramaras of Malwa. Fine. Second were Chandelas in Bundelkhand. This is the region of Bundelkhand. Now, along with history, we are able to revise the geography as well. If in geography it is asked about Malwa Plateau, Bundelkhand Plateau, so you can correlate it with the Rajput dynasties. The Paramaras of Malwa, Chandelas of Bundelkhand. Also, we had Chalukyas or Solankis of Gujarat, this region. Solankis of Gujarat. Solankis were also the branch of Rajputs. Yes, please. Any doubt? Okay. Solankis of Gujarat. Fourth were Chauhans of Delhi or Ajmer. Chauhans were also known as Chahamanas. We would be covering these dynasties in detail. Just note it down. The map will be delivered to you via the handout. Just observe their location in the map as of now. That where were these located? UPSC can ask you the east-west order of these dynasties. So you must be aware about the geographical features also. Malwa kahan hai? Where is Gujarat? Where is Bundelkhand? Ajmer we are talking about. These are Chauhans of Ajmer and Delhi. Okay? And we had Gadwahals of Kannauj as well. Kannauj, ठीक है, जहां पे गुजर प्रतिहार, they were having the main epicenter, Kannauj triangle, जिसके लिए पूरी tripartite struggle that was happening for Kannauj. So जब गुजर प्रतिहार disintegrate हुए, तो these dynasties were observable in the northern India. Gadwals, along with the smaller dynasties like Tomars of Delhi. As of now, an important happening is taking place in Haryana. Can you tell me that important fair that is happening in Haryana? World famous fair is happening as of now in Haryana. Suraj Kund Craft Mela. It is world famous. That Suraj Kund had a lake, Suraj Kund Lake. That Suraj Kund Lake was built by Tomars. Suraj Kund means the lake of the sun. That Suraj Kund Lake was built by Tomar dynasty. There is a dam, an age-old dam, Anangpal Dam. A ruler was there in the Tomar dynasty, Anangpal Tomar. There is a village, Anangpur, where your Maharashtra University and these are located. So that Anangpur village has a dam which was created by Anangpal Tomar. So these dynasties are so much older. So now we would be covering these dynasties one by one. Dynasties, their founder, their capital. There's some important features that are important which can come into the examinations. Fine, clear? So this map must be remembered by you, and you can remember this by drawing it again and again. Fine. Where was Chandelas? Where was Solankis of Gujarat? Tomars, Chahamanas, Chauhans. This must be remembered by you. Fine. So put a heading that important Rajput dynasties, and in that first the Chauhans or the Chahamanas of Delhi Ajmer. Chauhans or Chahamanas. Chahamanas spelling. Chahamanas of Delhi or Chauhans of Delhi and Ajmer. Fine. We would be noting some important dimensions about this, like dynasty, their capital, who was the founder, their key rulers, and some important features. So can you name any important ruler of this dynasty? Prithviraj Chauhan, we are all aware about that. Fine. Who was the founder of this dynasty? Are you aware about it? Are you aware about it? Founder of this dynasty, Chauhan dynasty. In many texts, the dynasty founder is quoted as different. Some quote it as Vasudeva Chauhan, some quote it as a Ajmer Raj, or some quote it as Visal Dev. But the most prominent that we found is Vasudeva Chauhan. So write down Chauhans of Delhi Ajmer, you have written down. Now write down founder. Founder is Vasudeva Chauhan. Founder is Vasudeva Chauhan. Vasudeva Chauhan. So as we have learnt over this period that any dynasty has some prominent things. UPSC asks about the founders, the capitals, and some major kings which did something important during their reigns. So we must focus on the founder, the last ruler, if it is a very prominent, if they were involved in some very important fight. So the founder of this dynasty was Vasudeva Chauhan. Now, to make it a solidifying fact, there must be some backing to this also. Like there must be some inscription. So there's a Bijolia inscription which mentions that Bijolia inscription, Bijolia inscription, which mentions that Vasudeva Chauhan founded this dynasty in 551 AD. In 551 AD. Bijolia inscription mentions that Vasudeva Chauhan founded this dynasty in 551 AD. Fine. Now write down some key features or key rulers of this dynasty. Key features or key rulers of this dynasty. Now, can you identify this region? This is a region of majorly Rajasthan, right? Rajasthan, Ajmer. Originally, their capital was a city, a place known as Shakambhari. Now, this name Shakambhari, can you denote or can you relate it with any present site in Rajasthan? Shakambhari. I will write the spelling here. Anything associated with this, can you remember or can you relate with it? Shakambhari. Have you heard about Samar Lake? Where is it located? In and around Jaipur. So Shakambhari is believed that a place near Jaipur. So originally their capital was Shakambhari. Jaipur, but gradually they moved to the Ajmer city as their main capital. So write down originally their capital was Shakambhari. Their capital was Shakambhari. Their capital was Shakambhari, which is identical to modern Sambhar, which is identical to modern Sambhar near Jaipur, which is identical to modern Sambhar near Jaipur. ठीक है, फाइन. अब लिखिए इसका एक मेन रूलर, अजय राज टू. अजय राज टू. Ajay Raj 2, time period 110 110 to 1135 AD. 1135 AD. Chronologically, he is after Prithviraj Chauhan, but we have to cover him because can you relate this name with any city? Ajay Raj, Ajmer. So Ajmer was named after his name. Ajay Raj, he founded Ajmer. Ajmer was also known as Ajay Meru in older days. Ajmer city in Rajasthan near Jaipur. It was founded by Ajay Raj II. It was also known as Ajay Meru in older days. So if at all this city is mentioned by this name, you can tackle it in the examination. Ajay Raj II, his time period, the city was founded on his name, which was also called as Ajay Meru. Fine. He also established a Sanskrit Pathshala at Ajmer. This is important because I will tell you in a while that why it is important. An important incident took place during the period of a slave dynasty, Delhi Sultanate, and this is related to that. He established Sanskrit Pathshala at Ajmer. Now, have you heard about Adhai Din Ka Jhopda? In slave dynasty, Qutubuddin Aibak went to Ajmer during one of his expedition, and he built a mosque in very few days. Adhai din means dhai din ka, jahan pe wo rahe the. So this Sanskrit Pathshala was converted to Adhai din ka Jhopda later in the Delhi Sultanate. That's why it is very important. If at all a question comes that who converted the Sanskrit Pathshala at Ajmer into Adhai din ka Jhopda, it was Aibak. Who made it originally? It was Ajay Raj II of which dynasty? Chauhan dynasty. So you can write it down or you can remember this fact. Fine. It was Ajay Raj II's Sanskrit Pathshala at Ajmer, which was converted to Adhai Din Ka Jhopda later on by whom? Qutubuddin Aibak. Fine. Qutubuddin Aibak. Fine. We had this fact. Fine. Now, next ruler, Prithviraj Chauhan. Which battles are associated with him? The name of the battles, can you tell me? Battle of Tarai की battles. किसके साथ? रानी इसलिए तो मतलब क्या बोल रहे हो आप? हाँ ठीक है. हाँ वो that was not significant battles, but the significant battles was that with whom? किसके साथ? मोहम्मद घोरी के साथ. ठीक है, इसमें लिखिए he fought first battle of Tarai 1191. First battle of Tarai 1191. He fought. He was active during the 12th century. Periods are very much debated. कब उन्होंने जन्म लिया, कब उन्होंने मृत्यु हुई उनकी, ठीक है. But we know about the battle of Tarai. So battle of Tarai, first battle of Tarai 1191, जिसमें उन्होंने हरा दिया था मोहम्मद घोरी को. ठीक है. Battle of Tarai 1191. But in the second battle, he was killed by Muhammad Ghori. Tarain, Tarain, Battle of Tarain. In second battle, which was in 1192, with Muhammad Ghori, he was defeated. First battle में उनको जीत प्राप्त हुई थी. He won the battle in 1191, but in the second battle, he was defeated by Muhammad Ghori. Was defeated by Muhammad Ghori. Now, in this period, we had two important books written by some great poets. Can you tell me any name? Can you tell me the main poetry or the main book that is still famous and we hear it about? Have you heard about Prithviraj Raso? Prithviraj Raso? No? Please write down. Two great poems, comma, Prithviraj Raso, Prithviraj you can write, Raso I am writing on board, Prithviraj Raso, and Prithviraj Vijaya. Prithviraj Raso and Prithviraj Vijaya were written by his court poets, Prithviraj Raso and Prithviraj Vijaya were written by his court poets Chand Bardai, Chand Bardai and Jayanaka respectively. So Prithviraj Raso was written by Chand Bardai and Prithviraj Vijaya was written by Jayanaka. These both were court poets of whom? Prithviraj Chauhan. And these books are available to us still, and we know about the history of Prithviraj or his deeds, his contribution to society from these two books. Fine. Then write second dynasty, Pratiharas of Kannauj. Chauhans. Pratiharas of Kannauj. Now this also, Pratiharas of Kannauj, we have already done these through the tripartite struggle. So we need not write it again, as we have already covered this. Just mention that these are also available to us in that period. Who was the founder? Who was the main founder of Pratiharas? Nagbhat I. Okay? Just mention this line, that second dynasty, Pratiharas of Kannauj, hyphen, founded by Nagbhat, part of tripartite struggle. Founded by Nagbhat I. Nagbhat I. Okay? Part of tripartite struggle. As we have already covered it in the tripartite struggle, no need to write it again and again. Then write Paramaras of Malwa. Paramaras of Malwa. Paramaras of Malwa. Paramaras of Malwa. Who were the core rulers or the key rulers? Have you heard about them? Paramaras of Malwa. Who founded it? Upendra founded it. Upendra. Paramaras of Malwa, the founder of the Malwa dynasty of the region, was Upendra. Just I was not available. That's why. It would be happening next week. Means this coming week. Fine. As I was not available. Fine. So, Paramaras of Malwa, Upendra was the key ruler. Upendra was the founder. What was the capital of this? Malwa में कौन सी जगह? Dhar, MP. Dhar. Their capital was Dhar. Located in Madhya Pradesh. Capital was Dhar, located in Madhya Pradesh. Famous ruler? Raja Bhoj. Raja Bhoj. Is different from Mihir Bhoj. कहाँ पढ़ा था हमने मिहिर भोज? भोजा वन, चोला में भोजा वन नहीं, एंशिएंट में क्यों पढ़ा था? ट्राइपाइटाइट स्ट्रगल में नहीं करा था? हाँ, he is different from that Bhoja. That was Mihir Bhoja 1. This is a normal Raja Bhoj. ठीक है? Fine. Write down. He was a scholar king, Raja Bhoj. Raja Bhoj. He was a scholar king. He patronized Sanskrit. He patronized Sanskrit. Raja Bhoj. He was a Sanskrit या फिर scholar king. He patronized Sanskrit. Built Bhojshala. Built Bhojshala. Built Bhojshala. Built Bhojshala. And Bhojeshwara temple. And Bhojeshwara temple. He built Bhojshala and Bhojeshwara temple. Fine. There was a dynasty in the Hind or the Sindh area beyond the Gujarat region. That dynasty was Hindu Shahi dynasty. It was attacked by whom? Ghazni. So he sent an army to that location to help the Hindu Shahi dynasty. Just remember it. No need to write, note it down, or just remember it that he also helped the neighboring regions, neighboring countries. He sent an army to help the Hindu Shahi rulers, which were getting troubled due to the attack of Ghaznis. Fine. Now, if you go into the details of this dynasty, there was two sages, Vishwamitra and Vasishta. Vishwamitra and Vasishta. In the ancient period, there were two sages, two saints. Now, Vishwamitra stole the Kamdhenu or the wish-granting cow of Vasishta saint. Fine. There were two saints, Vishwamitra and Vasishta. Vishwamitra stole the Kamdhenu. Kamdhenu means a wish-granting cow. Means they will, if they ask them anything, the cow will give them everything. Mythical story here. Okay. So this was a story that how the Paramaras of this area brought up. So the Vashishta saint went to the Mount Abu region. This dynasty belongs to the Mount Abu region. So he went to the Mount Abu, he prayed, and a dynasty was born, and that dynasty was known as Agnikula dynasty, means the fire dynasty. That dynasty produced a hero which helped the Vashishta to get back his cow from Vishwamitra. So that is a story, a background drop of how any dynasty is made to believe that they are from the divine origins, so that everyone is respected and they have a higher status in the society. Fine. So these stories are something that you must know if you want to know the background of the story. Fine. We have noted it down. Now, next, Tomers of Delhi. Tomers of Delhi. Tomers of Delhi. Anuj, which portion is left? Please tell me. Because this was just a story that I was reciting. Any portion that you are not able to write it down, please tell me. Fine. So please write down Tomers of Delhi. Tomers of Delhi. Their capital was Delhi only. It is also known as Dilika. Dilika. Delhi, also known as Dilika. Major rulers, Anangpal 2. The founder was Anangpal 1. The founder was Anangpal 1. Anangpal 1 was the founder. Anang G. Anangpal 1 was the founder. Write down the features. He built Lal Kot. He built Lal Kot. Lal. Lal Kot. Anang Tal. Anang Tal. Tal means sort of lake. Anang Tal. He built Lal Kot, Anang Tal, and Surajkund reservoir. and Surajkund Reservoir. He built Lalkot, Anangtal, and Surajkund Reservoir. Fine. Do you know about Mehrauli pillar inscription? Mehrauli pillar inscription. So in that, an 11th century inscription mentions about the contribution of Anangpal. So we get a verified backing that this ruler was existing and he built all these things. Now there is a story which talks about that how our earth is balanced on the horns of a Nandi. Our whole earth is balanced over the horns of a Nandi. Fine. Now this iron pillar inscription or the iron pillar was believed to be the center of the earth or somehow related to that Nandi. Now if some rulers tried to detach that iron pillar, something bad happened to them. Something bad happened to them. Fine. Supernatural types. It's a mythical story. Someone told this to me and I read it somewhere. So this is about how. So our story was like, why it is known as Dilika. When this iron pillar became Dila or it became somewhat loose. That's why it is known as that. Even if someone tries to detach it, deroot it, something bad happens. So it is related to Dilika and Delhi. Delhi came from that story. Dilika, where someone tried to uproot it, but it was not out, but something bad happened to them. So they kept it as it is. But it became Delhi. Indraprasth, Indirapuram, Kuru. Yes, that was known in the Mahajanpada period. So Delhi came from that period, but it is not a true story. It might not be a true story. It might be a made up story. But we believe that the name Delhi comes from that story itself. Fine. So now we are doing the Tomers of Delhi. Have you written about the iron pillar? Just write down. The iron pillar at Mehrauli. The iron pillar at Mehrauli. The iron pillar at Mehrauli carries 11th century inscription, which mentions about Anangpal Tomar. 11th century inscription carries, which refers to Anangpal Tomar. Who is widely believed that he established the Delhi city. Fine. तो 11th century Mehrauli जो कि पिलर है उसके ऊपर 11th century का inscription है that mentions the deeds and the contributions of Anangpal Tomar. Fine. Then write Chandelas of Bundelkhand. Chandelas of Bundelkhand. So everything that is important from the perspective of examination, we must be following those things also. If we are talking about Rajasthan history, if we are preparing for Rajasthan administrative services, these things can be detailed into many lectures, even the dynasties itself. We can move on to the Tomars of Delhi, their art and architecture, their culture. There is no end to history if we go deep into that. We must be focusing on the chronology part. We don't want to do PhD in history. We must be knowing exactly those things which have a chance or they are already being asked in the examination. Okay? If we go on to do everything, there is no limit to that. That's why, means these things are written in the books itself. Why don't you just read the book and go to the examination halls? Why you are coming to the classes? To know exactly what portion, in what sense, in what proportion should be studied. So that we can have minimum resources and maximum output from them. Fine. Chandelas of Bundelkhand. Okay. Who was the founder? Do you know about it? A founder, a ruler, Nanuka. Name Nanuka. Very less people used to focus on these dynasties until and unless UPSC asked this in one of their papers. About Vijaya Shakti, ruler. It came into the prelims examination of, I guess, 2021 or 2022. Vindhya Shakti, Jija Shakti. These rulers were asked. After that, all the people started to focus on these things. Previously, all were talking about the Pratiharas only, Prithviraj Chauhan only, they were studying deeply. But after that, we realized that we must have some knowledge of each dynasties, like founders, some major contribution, that's it. We must not go too much deep in one dynasty because that would be impossible for us to retain over the longer period. But we must know, we must have an idea that which dynasty was belonging to which period and what was their founder. So founder is Manuka. Their capital was Mahoba. Mahoba. That is around Khajuraho. Mahoba, Khajuraho. Mahoba, Khajuraho. Important rulers. Important rulers. Yashovarman. Yashovarman. Time period 925 to 950. Yashovarman. Yashovarman. 925 to 950. Dhangadev. Dhanga. Dhanga Deva. Dhangadev. Time period 950 to 999. 950 to 999. 999. And Vidyadhar. And Vidyadhar. And Vidyadhar. These were the main rulers of this dynasty. Vidyadhara. Time period 1003 to 1035. These were the key rulers of this dynasty. Fine. Now write some important features. They built the Khajuraho temples. They built the Khajuraho temples. Chandelas built the Khajuraho dynasty. Khajuraho temples. Kya hua? Doubt? Achha. They built the Khajuraho temples. Khajuraho. 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 They built the Khajuraho temples. Alag over the time period, different rulers contributed to the temples. Like someone gave the contribution to, there's a temple, Kondare Mahadev temple. In the rock cut architecture hai alag prakar se, cave temples hai. So different ruler contributed to some different parts. And जब इतना पुराना हिस्ट्री में जाते हैं तो एक एग्जैक्ट रूलर के कंट्रीब्यूशन कैसे बताया जाए? या तो कोई इंस्क्रिप्शन हो, वी मस्ट हैव एन इंस्क्रिप्शन दैट अशोका के स्तूपा में कैसे पता चले? इंस्क्रिप्शन है प्रॉपर, वी हैव डिटेल्स दैट अशोका बिल्ट देम. यहां पर अलग अलग चीजें हो सकती है. ठीक है, जैसे विश्वनाथ टेम्पल है, कौंडरिया महादेव टेम्पल है, खजुराहो टेम्पल्स के ही पार्ट है. सो दीज वर कंट्रीब्यूटेड बाय चंडेलास. फाइन. अब इसके बाद हैव यू हर्ड अबाउट नगरा स्टाइल ऑफ आर्किटेक्चर, टेम्पल आर्किटेक्चर? There are three styles: Nagara, Dravida and Vesera. These are three basic temple architecture style. Nagara is contributed to north, Dravidian is south, Vesera is the middle, central region. दोनों को mix होते हैं. Vesera is a hybrid, just like donkey, horse and mule. Fine. ऐसे ही ये अलग अलग. वेसरा का मतलब ही हाइब्रिड है. तो नगरा आर्किटेक्चर जो है, इट वाज एट पीक ड्यूरिंग द चंडेला पीरियड. नगरा वाज एट पीक ड्यूरिंग चंडेलास. नगरा आर्किटेक्चर वाज एट पीक ड्यूरिंग चंडेलास. ठीक है. There were also two important rulers who consolidated the Chandela power. They were Jaya Shakti and Vindhya Shakti. They were known as Jeja and Vija. Jaya Shakti and Vindhya Shakti. वापस अभी इस पे चलते हैं. Jaya Shakti and Vindhya Shakti. There were two important rulers. इसी में चंडेलास में लिख रहे हैं Jaya Shakti, Jayashakti, and Vindhya Shakti. Vindhya or Vijay Shakti, both are fine. important rulers who consolidated the Chandela power. Now, this is known from Mahoba inscription. An inscription known as Mahoba inscription, M-A-H-O-B-A, Mahoba inscription, tells us about this, that there were two rulers, Jija Shakti, or Jaya Shakti and Vijay Shakti. They were also known as Jeja and Vija. Jeja and Vija. Fine. Then write Gadhwals of Kannauj. This was the region of Kannauj. So Gadhwals were available to us in this period. Gadhwals of Kannauj. Founder was Chandra Dev. Gadhwals of Kannauj. Founder was Chandra Dev. Fine. Capital was Kannauj and Kashi. These were two major capitals of Gadhwals of Kannauj and Kashi. Founder was Chandra Dev, and their famous ruler was Jayachandra. ठीक है? Was associated with the Prithviraj Chauhan story. Fine. Jayachand, who did not means, as Prithviraj Chauhan was in love with his daughter, so he did not participated in the war with the Muhammad Ghori. Okay. Fine. Then there were Chedis of Tripuri. Kannauj and Kashi. Chedis of Tripuri. Have you heard about Chedis of Kalachuri dynasty? Chedis in the ancient India. We have heard of. So Tripuri was this region. Tripuri. Yes. Chedis of Tripuri. Founder Kokala I. Founder Kokala I. Capital Tripuri. Tripuri is located in basically Madhya Pradesh. Tripuri. Capital Tripuri, MP में. Founder Kokala I. ठीक है. Then come to Solankis of Gujarat. Founded by Moola Raja. ठीक है. Moola Raja. Important rulers. Bhima I. Bhima I is someone who built Rani Ki Vav. Have you heard it? Stepwells. Rani Ki Vav. Bhima I means first. Bhima the first. हर अलग अलग जगह है. एमपी में भी है, गुजरात में भी है. और सन टेम्पल है मोडेरा में. रानी की वाव. स्टेपवेल्स होते हैं जहां पे रानी नहाती है. स्टेपवेल्स. ठीक है. सन टेम्पल है मोडेरा में. He also built that. Sun Temple at Modera. Modhera. Sun Temple at Modera. ठीक है. Now these were the Gadhwals, these were the Tripuri, and they were the Solankis of Gujarat. Gujarat we are talking about. So Modera, Gujarat, Modera Stadium bhi hai. And we were also having the Modera. Solankis hai. ठीक है. So Rani Ki Vav, Gujarat, Stepwells, these are associated with these things. Then write down society and cultures of Rajputs. Society and culture of Rajputs. Now if I ask you, what could have been the social structure present there? Caste system तो हम उसके बारे में करेंगे. Social structure कैसे, मतलब clan based था, है ना? There were different clans whose chiefs थे. ठीक है. And so write down in social structure, clan based, deep attachment to the land. Just like, have you seen the movie Chava? I recently saw it, Chava, about Sambhaji. So they were having a sense of belongingness to the land. How they were different or separate from Mughals, you must see it from the perspective of history as well. Because they were wanting to establish a Swaraj. And Swaraj has no definition. It is about that it is in the blood of every Maratha. They want the land to prevail despite you have any religion, be it Muslim, be it Hindu, any religion. So they had this feeling of belongingness to land. Similarly, Rajputs were also similar to this feature. They were clan based, they had deep attachment to the land. Their family and the honor was important for them. Family and honor was very important to them. Fine. Then right, caste system. Caste system was prevalent in that period also. Means upper caste enjoyed the privileges and the lower caste faced the oppression. Caste system was prevalent. Upper caste enjoyed privileges. Lower caste faced oppression. Sambhaji. Right, right. Fine. बिल्कुल. हाँ. Marathas also had some feudatory relations. Right. Right, right. Different. So some impurities are always present in anything. Be it any religion, be it any society, some impurities are always there. You cannot, means there is no race to present a section of society as privileged. उनको हम ये नहीं चाहते कि वो ऊपर है कोई नीचे. हम नहीं दिखाना चाहते. Society बना देता है उनको ऐसे. Every society has some bad people, some good people. Every society. Every religion has similar situation. We are not creating a platform where we are keeping some section of society over above. Marathas also had some issues. There were Marathas itself who betrayed them, who betrayed Sambhaji. There were the Marathas only, even the closest one. Their brother-in-law were there who told the situation, who told the location of Sambhaji at this, where he was captured. So every religion, every society has some bad people and good people. We have to focus on the good of everything. We have to take in the good of everything. If we look at the bad perspectives, our perspectives will become bad only. We must take up the good things so that we can have an understanding of history, but we should not make our own biased views. We must study history from the perspective of knowing it from different opinions. We must not become a judge by ourselves. That ye aise tha, wo aise tha. Then our biasness would blur our knowledge and it would blur our intensity to learn more. We will limit our intensity to learn. So don't be biased with any religion, with anything, because we don't know what was the exact situation at that moment. We are just studying accounts of someone. है ना? हम किसी के accounts लिखे हुए जो हैं वो पढ़ रहे हैं उनको. Exact situation ये थी भी नहीं थी, we don't know. हमें आज का पता है कि आज हमारे साथ कौन कैसा है. It could be someone from our religion, it could be someone from our society, and it could happen that from our society itself someone could blame us, someone would not be good for us. So act according to the circumstances, not according to the blurred lenses of caste system, religion. This is my opinion. It could differ from your perspective, but my opinion is just analyze who is benefiting you, who is against you, act accordingly. Don't get into the debate of religion, caste, anything that would blur your visions. Fine. Women's condition. Women's condition. Women's condition. It varied by class to class. It varied by class to class. Honor was valued. Honor was valued. Today's lecture can extend a bit. So please be seated. It varied by class to class. Means any class, upper classes having different categories of women or to treat the woman differently. Lower classes were having different dimensions to treat the woman. So it varied by class to class. But their honor was very much valued. As we saw in the movies also and the stories also, Johar Pratha. Whenever the enemy or the alien came to their location or captured their fort, the woman performed the Johar. Johar was like that. Every woman in the kingdom or the village, they will die by suicide in the burning fire. They will burn themselves, because in that period the rulers were barbaric. Means there was no law. As of now, we have constitution, we have everything, rule of law and order. But in that period, the mode of domination, beat anyone, beat from any religion. If they had the power, they did the bad things. It is not about the Rajputs or the Mughals or the Delhi Sultanate. Anyone, beat anyone. If they had the power, they had to do that. Because if they do not do that, how they will promote their dynasties? So what they did, they took the females and the women and the children into the harem or into their as slaves, and they did all sort of atrocities. Similarly, like animals, जौहर प्रथा होती थी. सारी वुमेन जो है एक बार में एक पद्मावत मूवी वी सॉ that अपने आप को आग में डाल देती हैं before the enemy can capture them, because atrocities after that was very brutal, and the queen had to go through all the atrocities, and women, to protect their honor, they died by suicide. Because just like animals, a lion or even a dog from the other lane, if it comes to your lane, it will kill the offsprings of another dog. So they were like animals. They were barbaric tribes. All the kings beat any dynasty. Fine. So women were honored. Their honor was very much valuable. Fine. Occupation. Agriculture. Basic agriculture. Primarily, they were warriors. Rajput were primarily warriors. So they fought with different clans. They looted them, or they enjoyed the war treasury. Fine. They were primarily warriors, had some trades. They were also traders, and they were mainly agriculturists. Fine. Then religious patronage. They were champions of Hinduism. They focused too much on moving forward the Bhagavatism and Hinduism. So they were champions of Hinduism. Okay. But they were also tolerant towards the other religions such as Jainism, because we see the Delwara temples, fine, जो Jainism से related है. They championed the Hinduism. They also were tolerant to the other religions like Jainism. Tolerant. क्योंकि हमें देखने को मिलता है कि वहां पर आज भी जैन टेम्पल्स एज इट इज हमें वहां देखने को मिलते हैं. फाइन, ठीक है. Now contribution to art, architecture and literature, because we have to see something from this portion. It's a small portion, so cover it here itself, and then we would be doing it again in the art and culture also, but some things are to be noted here itself. Contribution to art and architecture and literature of Rajputs. First of all, write about architecture, temple building, Nagara style, temple building, Nagara style. As we saw, this period was the Rajput dynasty, especially the Chandels were the epitome of the Nagara style of architecture, Khajuraho temples and all. So this is somewhat like Nagara architecture. We have a main temple. Under this we have a Garbhagriha, where the main deity is located, and then we have this. Right. And we have a plinth. Means in all temples you would see a platform. Over it the main temple is built. And we have some subsidiary shrines around it. And we have some halls, mandapa, to have some gatherings and procedures and all. Fine. So they built this. Now, what was the main feature they added? They did tall curvilinear शिखराज. Tall, हाँ, नगरा के अंदर they added tall curvilinear, means it had a linear style also and they were curved also. Tall curvilinear शिखराज. Tall curvilinear शिखराज. These are shikhars. These are shikhars. Fine. This is available in the Lingaraj temple of Odisha. Khajuraho temples. Example of this thing. Tall curvilinear shikhras are available in the Lingaraj temple of Odisha. Khajuraho temples. Fine. Then they are also famous for many forts. Nahargarh forts. Fine. Chittorgarh palace. Udaipur fort. Fine. So these were Rajput's major contribution to the architecture part. Fine. Then literature. So they gave patronage to Sanskrit. 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 There was a Jain scholar, Hemchandra Suri. There was a Jain scholar, Hemchandra Suri. Hemchandra Suri. He wrote in Sanskrit. And Aparabhramsa. Aparabhramsa was a sort of a language itself, a precursor to Sanskrit. He wrote in Sanskrit and Apabhramsa. ये मतलब languages ही हैं. Just like Apabhramsa. 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 Means a precursor to Sanskrit itself. So like एक language ही है जो कि संस्कृत से पहले use की जाती थी. तो Hemchandra Suri was an important author at that time of Rajputs. Fine. Then write paintings. Paintings were also very famous. Have you heard about Bani Thani painting? This is Bani Thani painting. It belongs to Kishangarh school of painting of Rajputs or Bani Thani. Bani. Bani Thani means a woman which is very much decorated, or she is very much like in a तैयार होके बहुत अच्छे से बनी ठनी, that we call in Rajasthani, in the Haryanvi languages. So बनी ठनी, ठीक है. We had Kishangarh school of painting. Kishangarh जहाँ से मार्बल्स आते हैं. किशनगढ़ जहाँ पे आपने देखा होगा फोटोशूट चलते हैं. मार्बल्स का है, लगता है बर्फ है. बिल्कुल किशनगढ़ स्कूल ऑफ पेंटिंग. तो बनी ठनी वहां से. एंड दे फॉलोड थीम्स लाइक रामायण, कृष्ण लीला. तो जो भी एपिक्स है उनके थीम को फॉलो करते थे while painting they followed these things. ठीक है. रामायण, कृष्ण लीला जी. हाँ बिल्कुल ठीक है. तो ये था आज का हमारा पूरा राजपूत किंगडम. Now in the next lecture we would be starting with rise and spread of Islam, the Turkish invasion, and so on forward. This would be continued in the next lecture, but before that we have some PYQs, as we are aware that after the lecture we do some PYQs. This would be done after the next lecture. We would be continuing with the Turkish invasion. Islam was founded in 7th century. क्या है इसमें? No, as we have studied in the books, the moment the Prophet Muhammad declares, we believe that Islam was founded in that century. We will talk about it. Please do the question. First. The term Aprabhamsa was used in medieval Sanskrit text to denote किस लिए डिनोट किए हैं अप्रभंसा? ठीक है, as I told that it was some precursor to Sanskrit language, so this is important. This was asked in 1996. So each and everything that can be important from the exam perspective must be learnt and must be covered. So everything you must be having. So यहाँ पे देखिए, as I have told you, whenever you have two options from similar field, the answer would be one of them. Language, Sanskrit. So answer would be from this only. They are giving us hint. These two are very much not related. Fine. Next question, last question of today. CDS 1 of 2016. Easy question, just make yourself calm and analyze it. The stories are not depicted. आराम से question समझ के पढ़ के. The stories, which of the following are not depicted? Not depicted. The stories of Krishna, ragas and raginis, these are available because वो Rajput से, तो they would not be talking about the other religions. Fine. The deeds of Hamza, the deeds of Babar, these not would be available in the. So simple question, just you have to maintain what you have read. अब ऐसा नहीं कहना इसमें, सर आपने ये तो पूरा नहीं पढ़ाया. हर चीज नहीं पढ़ी जा सकती. We have to attain the analytical aptitude to solve these questions. Fine. So answer would be 3 and 4. So this was all about today's lecture. We completed medieval history, Rajput kingdoms. We talked about all different kingdoms and we solved the question itself. Similarly, we would be focusing on the other parts of medieval history also, like Turkish invasions, Delhi Sultanate, Mughal period, and so on. So if you want to continue this series, you can comment below in the YouTube video also, so that we can move further with the lectures. Fine. Thank you very much. If कोई doubt है, कोई परेशानी है, कोई problem है, you can contact in the comment section. Online people, any doubt? ठीक है. Thank you very much. Take care. Jai Hind.